Alright everybody, what is going on guys? What is up? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is just going to be a little bit of story time. And it's not a very old story at all. In fact, it's not even 24 hours old yet. But I thought, you know, with the way that my channel's going recently, I'm pretty open, I'm pretty transparent, and I'm most definitely honest. So I'm going to talk about something that happened to me last night. This is the first time anything like this has ever happened to me before. I think the title of this video is going to be something like I had a health scare, or I had my first health scare, because I truly did. I was standing right here last night at 10 o'clock PM. It's 12:30 PM right now, so it was about 14 hours ago. I was standing right here. Recently I've been under a lot of stress. I have. Not only with this YouTube channel, in life, okay? There's been certain changes in my life, my personal life, that have stressed me the fuck out. I've tried to hide it, I try to be positive, I try to be up when I make these videos, and all of that, as well as I have a very heavy caffeine habit. I don't know if I'm addicted, but I'm certainly in a massive habit right now. So every morning I will be drinking coffee. Every video that I make, I drink coffee. I drink a lot of coffee, and that means I drink a lot of caffeine, which is not good for your heart. And you know, when you do have too much caffeine, you feel your heart pumping. You know, thinking back, like what happened is to do with my heart. Okay, look, I'll talk about all that. I just need to tell you what happened. I was standing here. I felt this sudden rush of nauseousness come over me. It started in my fingers, it came right up my arms, it came up my stomach, and it was just too much, and I actually collapsed. It was a feeling of, the paramedic that came pick me up and took me to the hospital, he actually mentioned it was an overwhelming feeling, and that's exactly what it was. I couldn't put it down to anything. It's nothing I've felt before. So I was standing here, it happened, I sort of stepped back over here, and I knew that I couldn't stand up any longer, it just got too much, and I actually yelled out, I go, ah! I went, ah! You know, just thinking about that's scary, man. I went, ah! I fell backwards, and I lay down on the floor for about 2 minutes, and I tried to sit up. I was confused, I was quite sweaty, I felt sick. I felt really sick. I didn't want to stand up because I felt nauseous. And I don't know what happened, but anyways, I didn't actually know, I didn't know what was going on. I thought maybe I had a heart attack. Whilst I was lying on the ground, my arm started fucking paining. My arm, like, it was having a sharp pain, like right in the bicep here. And I thought, what the fuck is going on? Am I having a heart attack right now? Like, seriously, what is going on? All these things sort of went around in my head. I called out for my mum, who's actually living with us at the moment, thankfully, and she came downstairs. I said, look, don't worry, but I've just collapsed. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to stand up right now. I think you should call an ambulance. And that's what she did. So she called an ambulance. They got here about 5 minutes later. I was good by that point. The sweat from my forehead had gone away. That nauseous feeling had faded, and I was okay. I was just lying there, I hadn't moved, I was okay, I was just lying there. Paramedics come in, they do my obs. Blood pressure's kinda high. I tell them that I drink a lot of coffee, but nothing crazy today or yesterday. You know, nothing out of the ordinary. I'd finished my last coffee at about 12:30 PM. This happened at 10 PM. I did mention that I'd had a couple of sort of sharp pains around my chest over the last couple of weeks, but nothing that stayed for any period of time. It would just go away and I'd forget about it, but every time it would happen I'd think, oh, what's going on there? The biggest coincidence of it all is that yesterday I did a first aid training. I did a full day, 8 till 4, I did first aid training. We did CPR, we did defibrillation, we talked about heart attacks, we talked about strokes, we talked about everything. And then for something like this to happen that night, you know, geez, my head was swimming, I didn't know what was happening. Anyways, I went to the hospital, and they hooked me up to a echocardiogram. I think they gave me a couple of those, and determined that I had a very irregular heartbeat. So I had something, what they call it, atrial flutter. that was my diagnosis. They don't know whether I've had it for a while. They don't know whether it just started after I had this collapsing episode. I don't know. But anyways, when they did hook me up at the hospital to this echocardiogram, ECG, and then obviously just monitored my pulse and my heart rate, it was, I could see it. I could see it right in front of me. Usually you go dit, 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 dit. Well, this was dit, 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 dit. Like, and I'm looking at this, sitting there watching my pulse, feeling it in my heart and seeing it on the screen and thinking, fucking hell, why is my heart not working properly? Why is it not in sync? And they basically, from what I told them, you know, from the way I've been feeling beforehand, I was feeling okay, nothing crazy, I'd never collapsed before. They determined that this atrial flutter had started, or had, you know, basically come on after that had happened. So what they did, they gave me two options. Either I go under sedation. This is literally like a half an hour after it happened. I was in the hospital, I was all hooked up, they were telling me, shit, you've got an irregular heartbeat. This is what you can do. Okay, you can either take a pill, stay overnight, or you can take this other option. We're going to put you to sleep right now. We're going to hook you up, put you to sleep, and give you an electric shock to get your heart rate, to get your heartbeat back in rhythm. So I was told basically I was going to be put under anesthetic right there and then, and have a freaking, you know, like you see in the movies, man. Literally, my body would have gone ooh, like that when they shocked me. Anyways, I ended up doing it. I said, yeah, okay, let's do it. I was scared, man. So my pulse was at about 80 beats per minute. Once they got me hooked up, once they said, right, they put the IV in, they said, right, we're gonna put you to sleep now. My heart rate went from 80 to 160 instantly. Everything was beeping. It was fucking beeping, saying, why is this heart rate going so fast? I freaked the fuck out. I freaked out. I had what's called a panic attack, I suppose. Just before they said I was going to go to sleep, I was like, what if they shock me and it doesn't work? What if they do something wrong and I have a full-on heart attack right now? What if I never wake up? You know, all this shit just went through my mind, and this is stuff I'd had to compress and deal with only in half an hour beforehand. So, look, the last thing I remember is looking at that heart rate machine and seeing my heart rate at 160 beats per minute. It was flashing. I could feel it in my chest. It was boom, boom, boom. It was fucking huge. Next minute, 10 minutes later, well, not next minute, but 10 minutes later, I woke up. I looked up at the screen, and my heart was going dit, 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 and it was back in rhythm. Apparently, they had shocked me with 50 joules of electrical current, and it didn't work. So they upped it to 70, and it did work. So they shocked me twice, got my heart back in rhythm, and they did say, you know, you should be feeling better now. You should be feeling more relaxed, you know, less anxious. And lo and behold, I sat there and I thought about it, and I couldn't feel any beating in my chest anymore. There was no irregular heartbeat. I felt okay. So the treatment worked. So, geez, you know, it's scary. I didn't have a heart attack. I think atrial flutter, or an irregular heartbeat, is quite common, but not in someone as young as me, basically. So I'm just gonna have to watch myself. They've booked me in for another ECG in a month. So obviously it's not gonna require too much care. It's just a matter of me being careful. It's a matter of me controlling my caffeine intake. It's a matter of me just being in tune with my body, you know, knowing if something's up. You know, truth be told, I'd been going through episodes of dizziness when I get up too fast. You know, depending on how much I've eaten that day. If I've eaten not a lot, I guess my blood sugars are quite low. That can cause that. But some days it was happening when I was eating a lot. And, you know, I'd really have to catch myself as I get up. I'd get up and I'd know that this feeling of you know, faintness is going to come, and it does come. It sort of comes slowly, and then it comes, and then I'm holding myself, and then it's gone, and I'm alright. But, you know, once that's something I wasn't really thinking about. I wasn't taking notice of. But after something like this happens, you do start to take notice of that, and you're like, well, what has happened? You know, were there any warning signs? How long did I have this atrial flutter for? Did it actually just start last night? I doubt whether it did. Honestly doubt whether it did. So, I guess, yeah, that's about it. This is just an update on how I'm doing. I'm okay. I'm here. But last night, it all just happened really quickly, and I definitely had a panic attack in the hospital bed, and I got checked out at about 2:30, and went to work this morning at 8, and I'm back home at 12:30 for my lunch break, which is half an hour, and I'm making this video. So I've got this piece of paper here. I'll read it out for you. Jacob was brought in by ambulance with a symptomatic irregular heart rhythm, palpitations and unease. Systemically well. On examination, he had an irregular, strong pulse, BP normal, normal electrolytes. Decision made to cardiovert, that's what they did. Decision made to cardiovert given clear onset of symptoms. So they're saying that they think the irregular heartbeat, you know, came on after this collapsing episode that I had. In which case they want to treat it as fast as possible. So they successfully synchronized the cardioversion in ED under sedation, observed for a couple of hours afterwards, and remained asymptomatic. We have referred him for a non-urgent outpatient echocardiogram with the result to be copied to his GP. If there is any evidence of a structural cardiac abnormality, GP could consider outpatient cardiology referral. Advise patient to reduce his caffeine intake in case this is a contributing factor. So basically they're saying, I'm going to do another echocardiogram if there's any evidence of structural abnormality in my heart, which they didn't test. They didn't do an ultrasound yesterday, so they're going to do that. And I guess if there's any abnormalities, they'll pick them up there. But for the next month, it's basically just monitoring things and being careful, man, being sensible. You know, trying not to stress myself out too much. I guess I would say, you know, don't go too hard in the gym, but I've only been training in the gym. The only training I've been doing is cardio down at the field, and you've seen all that. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But that was an update on my first ever health scare. It really was. It was a scare. It's not something I'd wish on anyone. But I think people do collapse from time to time. People do faint. I didn't go unconscious, you know. So that's something. But I was certainly confused after it happened a little bit, and I was quite sick. I felt sick. So I don't know what happened, man. My body malfunctioned in some way. But, you know, I just hope that if you watch this, you get something out of it. I hope that, you know, I don't hope for anything. I just wanted to make this video. Just wanted to talk about it. So, with that said, guys, I'm not even going to ask you to like it. Just know I'm here. And we all go through things, and this is just the latest thing that I'm going through. And like I said at the start, my personal life is pretty terrible right now. So I've got to work on that. I'll be seeing you. Peace, guys.